do. They've set up multiple vaccine programs, food programs, and remember that one time America and Israel did their own aid inside Gaza to get aid to civilians, and Hamas said that they would punish anybody that tries to go get aid from them. And then guess what happened a week later? It got shot up.
Yeah,
Hamas
there
wants to
was
control the aid.
literally proof of videos of people getting hurt from like trying to get aid.
Okay, so for your
Love
point
it.
about that, I just want to contradict it by something. There are like videos also, like as you mentioned, the girl, showing that not Hamas, sorry, I forgot the name. IDF, yeah, they were shooting up a guy. They shot a whole eight person. واحد بالمستشفى.
Was
مش
it,
عارفة.
was it a bunch of masked men?
No, it was a person. He was not from Hamas. He was just an eight person. I don't know how to say it in English. He was an eight person. He got shot up for no reason. There were no warnings for that, and this was not the first time Israel did that. And second off, for a point that you mentioned about Israel, not Israel, sorry, Hamas shooting from hospitals, right? Israel put their bases in civilians. So basically, they're also using civilians as human shield. So you cannot say that Hamas is using civilians as a human shield. If Israel is using civilians as a human shield, Hamas locations were not exposed till now. If they actually knew where Hamas was, they would not have shut up or cleansed 70% of Gaza. There has, and like, how do I say this in English? They have not cleansed 70% of Gaza for that. There is another plan for that, for them cleansing 70% of Gaza, okay? And it's not about Hamas. They want to cleanse the civilians. And some people said that they want to make it a parking lot, which is really disrespectful, but I'm not going to go through that. And yeah, that's my point.
Okay, can I say something?
Okay.
Can I say something? Okay, basically, okay, so Israel is not just trying to attack the terrorists, and like, you know, they're also trying to get the
attacking everyone.
This was a war that started. They took in a bunch of hostages on October 7th, and they have been slowly releasing because America is making deals, and they're like, America's helping, but like there are reasons to why they are attacking. They're not just attacking. Like, if literally they would put their weapons down Israel, they would be no more Israel. But if Hamas would, or whatever, Gaza would literally put down their weapons and decide, okay, we're not fighting anymore, let's do a peace deal, like, and they actually, I don't know, Hamas, I don't know, whatever, then they would actually be peace.
Can I say something? Every time they come to a quote-unquote peace treaty, Israel always backfires and attacks the next day. So Israel always...
well, I have a reason for that.
Okay, what is
Hamas
your
openly... Hamas purposely makes absurd deals. They say, we will not recognize Israel.
No, but why do you
take some land.
Why do you bomb the next day?
Because the war will have to continue. Because the war has to continue.
Because they don't care about innocent lives. They just want to kill, and kill.
No, that's not what they're doing. The reason that they're not signing the treaties is because they're purposely absurd. This is not a new thing. This is an old tactic. They make absurd claims, and when Israel obviously doesn't agree to them, then they say, "Oh, they're not trying to cooperate."
Okay,
right? See how that works?
I have another thing to bring up. They always claim that these like Hamas leaders always take in money and everything like that. But I don't know if you know about this Hamas leader. His name is Mohammed Laif. And do you see how his life and where he was living and the way his kids were after they assassinated him? He was not living in luxury. He lived in like a small bedroom. Like, it is actually sad. And his kids, they were not dressed in the fancy stuff clothing. While Netanyahu's son is out here living in Miami in a penthouse. He is not out here fighting for his country. Where is he? Where is Netanyahu? Why is he not fighting?
If he lived in a big fancy mansion, rich, lavish.
He never even left Gaza. He was killed in Gaza. He was killed in Gaza. He was assassinated in Gaza. Where was he gonna get this luxurious house?
Well, he has and he's hiding in a normal house to hide himself. If he was in a normal house, like a good house where the leaders live, it would be like a light in darkness.
Trust me, no, because let me just say something. Netanyahu is not a man. He is like a little kid. He has people fighting his battles for him that even the Israeli people don't want this war to continue. They have not benefited from it at all.
Can I say
Netanyahu is
something?
doing this. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, like this is such a complicated subject. Like, think of it from his point of view. Like what is he supposed to do? He's doing I honestly think that he's doing the best he can. Like, okay, maybe I don't agree with every decision he's making, but like he's he's not gonna obviously be fighting wars and having a gun and just fighting a battle. Like he's supposed to I don't even know what his job is, like guide or something.
Can I reply to
He can't just let Hamas mindlessly attack them.
Hello,
Guys, just to let you know that I saw before a video of some Jewish people living in Germany, and there was like a man doing an interview with them about what's happening in Palestine and Israel right now, and they say that they completely don't support what's happening in Palestine, and they said that this was the Palestinians' land, and they don't support what Israel is doing, and these are Jewish people.
Yeah, people have different opinions. Like there's also pro-Israelis in there's really like pro-Israelis in Palestine, but you're not going to call them out, right? Like everyone's going to have different opinions even if it's against their country. Like there's a lot of people that don't like America that live in America, right? But that's just like a weird claim. And about you guys always talk about how the civilians are suffering, and civilian populations do suffer, but I've already talked about this. Hamas tells their civilians not to leave places that Israel's about to bomb, right? They hide terror tunnels under houses, and they purposely use their civilians as human targets. This isn't a new thing. This happened in the Battle of Stalingrad, World War II, happened in Nagasaki.
Israel can't really say anything because there's videos of them using Palestinians as human shields. So yeah, they contradict.
Well, what did they do in the video? Because I haven't heard that, so I'm curious. How did they use
video?
civilians
Hold
as
on,
human
I'm gonna
shields?
try to find it for you. And you
I never heard that either. That's
okay.
new.
Well,
I've never. You guys want to know? You guys want to know about a real video?
They moved a Palestinian in front of the tank and had him walk inside buildings while strapped to something, because if Hamas was supposedly found in there, that they would just blow him up with Hamas.
What?
Let me tell a story. Okay. Let me tell you guys another video. So Hamas took 6. This was recent too, past month I think. Hamas took 6 hostages, took them in a room, and videoed the entire process and said, okay, 3 of you is gonna get shot in the knee, and 3 of you are going to die. Okay, it is up to you guys for 1 hour to decide who's gonna die. And they couldn't come up with something, and they said we'll just pick at random. And they have videos of them talking and going through it. Right? Do you think that's any better? Do you think that's just resistance? Because it's not.
It's not necessarily any better, but when you see the way that Israelis treat the Palestinians, the ones that are arrested, which have a lot of kids in there, because I don't understand how a kid could be a terrorist at 5. But when they're arrested,
and
well, they're not targeting kids.
No, I mean their prisoners are kids. Some of them are kids. Some of them get arrested by the age of 9, and they're not even let out until they're 21 or 20 or 25, which doesn't make sense.
The war hasn't even been that long. The war has not even been that long.
No, I know, but I'm saying that's even before. That's even before the war. They've been doing stuff that traumatize the citizens, so it doesn't make sense why they wouldn't want to go up and create a Hamas, supposedly. Their treatment has been so unfair and unjust. It makes sense why they'd want to create a resistance group against the Israeli government.
It's just a terrorism. It's just blatant terrorism. Hamas doesn't care about Palestinians. Iran, who's funding Hamas, doesn't care about Palestinians. Nobody cares about Palestinians except for Israel, because you believe it or not, Israel is trying to avoid them.
Not funding
Believe it or
what
not.
terrorism means, in your opinion.
I have something to say. Can I? Okay. Okay. This boy or girl, I don't know, he said that the kingdom of Israel existed as an independent state until blah blah blah. Okay, so
The Romans.
yeah, I know. It doesn't make sense because long time ago there were a lot of countries, a lot of empires, and a lot of colonization. Okay, so it just doesn't make sense that the Jewish people went there again just because they had a home like million of years ago. Oh, well, hundred of years ago. It doesn't make sense because, for example, Spain, like long time ago, was Arabic, and there's nobody, no Arab people here in Spain trying to get Spain again. So it doesn't make sense.
Well, Arabs aren't native to there. The Arabs invaded and then they left during the Reconquista.
Yeah,
The people of Spain are still there. They're still native.
I found the video for you.
And I also have a question for the girl that supports Israel. So someone asked her why does she support Israel, and all she said is that it's because she's Israeli.
So is Israel supposed to just not defend themselves? Are they supposed to just let Hamas shoot rockets all the time? Is that what you're saying?
Wait, can I found the video. I want you to search it up because it happened in the West Bank and in Gaza.
What's it called?
Okay, the first video, it's called Israeli Forces Use Palestinians as Human Shields in Gaza. And in the other one, it's called, hold up.
You can't just defend Israel because you're from there. If they're bad, then you're bad.
All right, guys, tell me if you were Israel in this case, and Hamas kept attacking and firing rockets at you, and then they went to a civilian event and kidnapped a bunch of people, what would you do?
I would not take people's land and nothing happened.
I would like to be human before being Israeli. You know, I'm gonna support the human rights, not the Israeli one.
Exactly.
Palestine is very human, where they kill anybody that goes against them. They force terror tunnels under those. They kill anyone that goes against them. That's what Hamas does.
Excuse me.
Israel is an actual country, whereas Hamas is just a terrorist organization.
It's not the same thing. Like, you don't understand it.
Guys, so let me understand. When Israel attack Palestine, it's normal. But when Palestine wants to attack back and defend herself, it's not normal? How does that...
No, it's the opposite way around. No, they're constantly revolting against Israel. They're constantly firing rockets. And October 7th, they kidnapped a bunch of civilians, killed a bunch of civilians at an event. When we fight back, is that wrong? Is that a problem?
We're also using guerrilla warfare, which is
it did not
pretty
start on
much
October
makes
7th.
it harder for us to recognize whether or not
they hide as civilians.
or are they military.
Journalists. Yeah, combatants pretend to be journalists and civilians.
They dress up as civilians. They do not wear army military uniforms, and then they fight with that.
Not at all. Yeah, Marwa, make a claim against me. I want to hear your point on.
No, I'm not saying it because of what she said. I'm saying it because he said this war did start of October 7th, and that's not true.
Did.
But it did.
No, it did not.
This war. No, listen. On paper, this war started on October 7th, but this conflict is deeply rooted all the way back to 1917.
It was since 1945.
Yeah.
And it's not a war. It's not.
I think you mean 1947.
Hold on.
Genocide. It's
Hold
not
on.
a war.
Excuse me. Wait.
Hey, no, guys,
Wait.
listen,
Let me talk. Bro, please, let me talk. You guys have spoken enough. I have a question for you, Kirsty.
What's
regarding, I don't want to sound racist or anything. I'm just asking a genuine question. The Jews, all right? They were where were they originated? Where did they originate? They did not originate in Palestine. They originated in somewhere else.
Yeah, they did.
Where did they?
Nope, they're indigenous to Judea.
It literally has in the word Judea, Jew.
Yeah, look it up. They're native to Judea, and I'm not discriminating Palestinians. I think Palestinians do have an indigenous claim to that land. I think both of them do. That's why I'm for a two-state solution.
Me too.
Didn't it have fewer Palestinian? Wasn't more percentage of Palestinians more indigenous to that land than Israelis? Didn't
not
their
necessarily, because Palestinians, because they're a mix between there's a group there, I can't remember what they're called. They were originally there, but those were part of the Palestinian genetics, and then the other half is Arab, which aren't indigenous. That could be the same with Jews. They're indigenous to that land, but they were persecuted. They gone all across the world, then they come back, and they picked up genes from all over the world. So they're also partially indigenous, partially not, just like Palestinians.
Yep.
Jews are known to disappear every single 80 years. I don't know how to explain it to you. I don't know from where to get you the sources because I'm on phone right now. But they're known to disappear every single 80 years. They're known to start a colony. The first 40 years, they start increasing with their colony, getting power, getting whatever whatsoever. And then the next 40 years, they start decreasing until they vanish from Earth. And then it happens all over again. So you
Who are you
cannot.
talking about?
So you're saying
I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about Jews as in religion, as in, oh yeah, I believe that this, that. No,
you're
I'm
talking about the
talking about,
ethnicity?
yeah, I'm talking about the people. There are people that create a nation. Listen, there are two types of Jews. Okay, there are the Jews that support Israel, so Jews that don't support Israel. Okay, there are multiple types of Jews, but I'm just saying the ones that I know. The Jews that support Israel, like it cannot be only Israel. Okay, there are other names for Israel, but I don't know any names. Okay, they were for every single 80 years they increase and then decrease. They come and then they disappear. But they like
Okay.
I don't know. Oh my god! But you get me? Do you
So
get me?
I think
Hmm?
kind of. So is this like a conspiracy that they just disappear all the time? And also, the
No.
last time that they all majorly disappeared was during the 1940s, but they just didn't disappear. We kind of all know where they went. And as for you saying the colonization, they that doesn't make sense. The Jews didn't colonize the modern day Palestine because that doesn't make any sense. That's like saying that Native Americans like take over like Wyoming and consider that colonization. That doesn't
I
make any
did
sense.
not say anything about colonization.
You said a colony.
I said something about them. I told you that Jews, they start creating a country. They start creating such an idea, a group, in order to create a country. I did not say anything. Listen, about the colonization, I can give you some points against, like, I mean, that support that they did colonize Palestine. But right now, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about them appearing every single 8 years and then disappearing. And they did not go by one
Okay.
name. So that means they're not a
Well,
stable
Give me 3
country.
examples
Not
of
a stable
this.
country. No?
The only
What?
case I could think
Can you
of
give
Jews
examples?
disappearing is yeah,
Mm-hmm. What? Sorry?
Did you give examples?
examples.
More than 3?
I'm like trying to understand.
Yeah, so I think she's saying that like they seem to like disappear and go back and then they come out of nowhere.
What
I think
I
that's the
mean is,
claim. The
what
only
Like
I
you
mean
mean
is
like
they do
take
not have
over
a
like
stable
a country?
They do not have a stable country. Like it's, for example, it's an idea that is not stable. It's just an idea. It's not a country. It's not a fact. That's what I mean. I cannot say
yeah,
it in
well, this is
English.
the
Like
most
you
stable
don't
they've
know
had.
it.
Like the last time that the Jewish people had a homeland was before the Romans took over, which was forever ago. And the only times I think of quote unquote Jews disappearing was during the Reconquista and Germany's little invasion sesh. But
Yeah.
Guys,
How are the
guys,
Jews in Germany though?
The Jewish
And France?
people before 1945 were around the world. Like they didn't had a country, and like all
yeah,
of the countries
I mean, they
used
kind
to
of did
hate
though.
them. I'm sorry for using this word, but the countries hated them, and the UK had a problem with that. So they promised them to make them a country or a land to live in, and that land was
but it wasn't just
and
one sided. They sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I was gonna say that it wasn't just one sided. It wasn't like they just wanted them out. Like that's all they cared about. But the Jewish people didn't disagree. They wanted a homeland. They openly supported that. That's what Zionism is. It's just the belief that
yes,
the Jews should have a
because
homeland.
they wanted Palestine, because Palestine has what we call Quds. Yeah, this is why they want Palestine.
Yeah, they want it because it has their like important religious places to them, right? Because the three major
It
religions
has
started there.
value.
So it is for Muslims, yeah. But Palestine or Quds is also important for Muslims because, like, and also Christians. Quds is where
Yeah.
every religion started. Like, you should know this.
Holy wars.
Mhm.
But a country
Well,
that's owned by Gaza is not, it won't be a good country. like
I agree.
now
So that
now
was yeah.
Kind of like
whoops.
Afghanistan, for example, run by a terrorist
What are you guys
organization.
arguing right now? What are you guys like
So
specifically arguing right now?
we're arguing Well, specifically, we're kind of debating who's indigenous and who has the rights to the Holy Land.
Can
right?
I say something, guys?
Go off?
Sure.
Have you seen how people in Gaza are living? They don't even have shampoo. They don't even have like small stuffs that a human need to be alive. They live in tents. They don't have shampoo. They don't have water. They don't have food.
And guess who's
And
responsible for that?
That's Hamas's fault.
All right, hold
That
on,
is
hold on,
not
hold on.
Hamas's fault,
Exactly.
unfortunately. That
All
is
right,
not
so
Hamas's
Hey,
fault.
let the
Two things here.
doctor
I
talk.
think
Let the
it's
doctor talk.
I think it's like a little bit disrespectful to say that's purely Hamas's fault, but I understand what you're trying to say. I understand the arguments you'll bring up. But I think that Israel is kind of taking it a little overkill right now. Let's be honest with ourselves here. You
yeah,
know,
because
it
they are
started with like,
attacking
okay, let me
hospitals.
talk, let me talk. So it started with like, so originally I was actually on Israel's side like in 2023, right? But the problem is they bombed a school, right? And this killed about like what, like 30 Hamas agents, but like it killed it killed innocent people, right? But you know, they justified it by saying, "Oh, we were just trying to get Hamas, right? They're hiding in schools." But then you see this
Because they're
start
dressing up
happening
as
more and
civilians.
more. Then you start see this happening more and more where there's no evidence of Hamas even hiding in the schools through numerous journalists
Exactly.
and sources, right? So best
What
case
about the terror
scenario, they're
tunnels?
killing hundreds of kids for one Hamas agent, right? And worst case scenario, they're showing tendencies of genocide. So I think that Israel is wrong. However, I also think Hamas is evil. But here's the thing: I think that Palestine and the Israel debate, like, what's the point if we don't make a proposition of what should happen, right? So I believe in ending the war,
Yeah.
but how would that look like? We can't just give the Palestinians back their land immediately and have Israel back off. Um, you would need like a mediator, right?
Can
So
I
I mean, we can
speak?
talk about that. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
Can I say something? Alright. So, not mass. I know what. But I kind of agree with you, but I don't like how. But I'm not that big a fan that you support that you supported Israel back in 2023. But you're saying that it's not that easy for them to get the land back. Well, it could be that easy if they stop banning. Oh my gosh, what am I bombing Palestine? And I'm pretty sure I'd be seeing a lot of TikTok saying if they stop the war, they like
Oh my
stop the war and they
All
god.
right. Do you want
celebrate.
me to explain why I said that? Do you want me to explain why I said that?
Yes.
All right. So if Israel completely backed off and no one was mediating the Palestine-Israel war, what do you think would happen?
They take over.
Hamas would take back over and the cycle would continue.
Yep. And
We've seen this in
Palestine under Hamas
Afghanistan
is
when
never a free Palestine.
the US rolled out of Afghanistan, Taliban came right back in. They were hiding. Taliban was hiding. They weren't doing anything in Afghanistan until the US evacuated and then Taliban rolled right back in. Okay? So there's evidence right there that this stuff happens in
And they're
practice,
gone.
okay? It's not just a speculation, right? So I think the best case scenario is you either have the UN mediating this type of peace agreement or you have the US mediating this type of peace agreement. But I don't think that the US would be like completely honest here because of APAC funding and they would act on Israeli interests, right? And I think that's a little bit corrupt. So I think like best case scenario, you have like a UN agreement, but that would take so long because of so many different countries having to agree on this kind of stuff, especially with like the big five having to agree on something. And I just think that, you know, for efficiency, the US would have to be the mediators because they're like actually present um in this conflict. But they would have to take a strong stance to get Israel out of there, which I think Israel would treat as a hostility towards them. And they have a very close relationship, so I think it's a little bit unrealistic. And then you couldn't have any Arab countries mediate this idea because they hate Israel, so they would obviously be biased. So there's like not a great solution here. And I think it's kind of pointless arguing who's worse than who because all it will be is just talking about the war crimes of Hamas and then talking about the war crimes of Israel, to which they're both guilty of. But I think it's stupid because Hamas can no longer commit any war crimes because they're just completely outgunned, and they just have a lack of firepower compared to Israel.
Mhm. And I wanted to say, I think I'm gonna add on. So you think that the best solution would be like a mediator and some kind of still mandate, right? Like a two-state solution? Or are you saying, is that what you think, or
I
what?
think eventually Palestine should get like the land like Gaza. I think they should have Gaza, right? And um but I think that like eventually there would be like what you said, like a two-state solution, but I think that right now it would have to be the US involved in Palestine or the UN involved in Palestine. And you would
Yeah,
have to get the you would have to get Israel to back off, because what Israel is doing is like
yeah,
indefensible. It's unjustifiable.
yeah.
I
And
don't
I
think
think
that.
that the
I'm so sorry. You can continue.
I was just gonna say, I think there's actually a Palestinian government that's trying to get set up right now, and their direct opposition isn't Israel, but rather Hamas. So I think the best thing is Hamas gets taken down, that government is established, and then a settlement or like peace and a strong bond is worked out, because that's what the Palestinian government claims it wants. And I think the best solution would be pre 1967 borders and the Palestinian government, but that would be hard to accomplish.
Yeah, and I just think that like, you know, if you were to just end the war and let Palestinians have their lives back, in an ideal world, sure, that might be a good solution. In a simplified world, that's a good solution. The problem is that with no opposition, Hamas would easily take back control, and it's not a speculation. Like, because they just don't have any military opposition. There's like, it would just be so easy to seize control, especially after war. I don't think any Palestinian families are going to be focused on trying to fight another one.
And also think of what will happen to the Jewish people that are in Israel if it gets taken over. That would end horribly.
Guys, guys, I'm sorry, but every time we try to defend Palestine and to show you the truth and how they are suffering and living, and they don't have even a shampoo. Like, imagine they don't have shampoo or
Yes, we
any.
get that. I'm saying that's wrong. I'm saying
Yes,
Israel is very wrong. But I don't. Number one, I
yeah,
don't know why you keep talking about shampoo. That's not a necessity.
I
Okay.
know, but okay. Just listen. We don't.
Yes, I
We
get it
won't
though.
be
But
talking about this. Every time I try to defend Palestine, you're just like talking about the 7th of October. Like, Israel has done more than what happened in the 7th of October. Like, do you know how many Palestinian people have died since the war has started? Like, imagine
A lot less than you think.
Gotta be at
1945.
least 40,000
And
around
I
that.
can back that up. But
Was it
I
40,000?
think that, yeah,
so
your
I know what
claims.
you're trying to say. But first of all, I
No.
didn't bring up October 7th, right? I didn't bring up October 7th. That was someone else. And number two, my point was arguing about what a solution would look like. Okay. I think both sides aren't really communicating on what a solution should look like. So why are we arguing in the first place? If we're not debating for purpose, then we're debating for a just because reasoning. And that would look like just talking about the war crimes of both sides, which both sides are guilty of. But I did say that Israel is disproportionately committing more, like way more. And then that overall, I feel like Israel is more wrong right now, because, and that's mainly because Hamas can't really do anything. They have to hide. So I think, but I think if given the opportunity, if Hamas was in Israel's position, then Israel would be committing way less war crimes, and then Hamas would be doing the same things, regardless if the Palestinian people
And
like agree with it or
Question,
not.
question. Who's on Palestine's side? Who was debating
I
for
I'm
think the
Palestine?
only good people here are like the Palestinian people. So I'd say I'm more so on Palestine than, but I'm not for
yeah.
a immediate. I'm not for a immediate returning of their country, like in
And also,
the way their government
oh,
is right
sorry.
now.
I just also wanted to say that we get that civilians populations suffer in war. That's not a new thing. Like in all war, civilian populations suffer. It's a total war. But just like constantly saying they're suffering, they're starving, that's not going to help the war. That's not going to help anything change. Instead of highlighting that, we need to actually do something, right? And I mean, I don't know, but I just think that is kind of dumb to constantly be repeating that.
Yeah, and I think that first Israel
May I
needs to
say
take some
though?
accountability here, and then they need to punish Israel in some way for like they're making more and more apparent war crimes at this point, where you could argue that it's just speculation, but I mean,
Sorry for
realistically,
interruption, but did you say that we should punish Israel?
I think we should punish Israel.
Honestly,
I know, I'm sorry. I know,
Can I
but
say
we can't
something?
because USA is in the side of Israel.
I know. That's what I'm
I'd say
saying. Like,
USA is actually they've shown
No, I
support
think
for Palestine though.
no,
They're not
Israel.
as just one-sided as I think.
No, politically though, we're talking about like politically, like government wise. The
Oh, okay.
U.S. is
listen,
Yeah, I
listen.
got you.
Let me tell you why I don't think they should punish Israel. I don't think Israel should be punished because it's acting in self-defense, not aggression.
No,
No
that's not
country should.
self-defense.
Hold
That's
on,
not self-defense.
let me
Bombing a
finish what I have
school,
to say.
killing hundreds of
Hold on,
children
hold
for the
on. If we're gonna
chance
have a
of
debate,
getting one
hold
Hamas
on,
agent isn't
hold on,
self-defense.
hold on.
Guys.
Listen,
Can we let
Do
Kitty
you
Cat
know?
say something?
listen. If we're gonna have a debate, let's speak. Let's
Yeah, but I'm
speak one
just
on
done
one,
with that
and
brain
let's
dead
let
argument.
me right. And let me tell you
Can
my
I?
side of the view. I have everyone has opinions. That's what a debate is for. Someone to speak on each of their own things. You know what I'm saying? So let me let you know on why I don't think Israel it should be punished is because no country should be punished for protecting its people from constant attacks. When Hamas fires rockets at Israel cities or hides weapons in several areas, Israel has a right to respond to keep citizens safe. Punishing Israel would be like blaming a country for defending itself from terrorism. Instead of pointing fingers, we should focus on ending violence on both sides and finding real solution for peace, not punishing the only democracy in the region for trying to survive. I mean, does that make sense to you?
Yeah,
Sure.
so let me give you kind of like an example. After Hiroshima and Nagasaki, did the US go into like the main islands in Japan and just start bombing the rest of the country? I mean, because what we're
What?
really talking
Hey,
about is we're talking about
I
like
don't understand.
we're talking about like
So
complete overkill here. We're talking about complete
right,
overkill, right? Hamas is like
but listen,
essentially powerless at this point. Hamas is essentially powerless at this point, and we're looking at like evidence of them like bombing schools in 2024 where they've claimed to have taken the lives of um, Hamas agents, yet you have sources like the Euromed Human Rights Monitor that found like that weren't able to find any type of Hamas agents hiding in there. You know what I mean? So like
right,
we're talking about like they can't do anything right now. So I think it's stupid to say that they're defending their country at this point.
but
That's just
listen,
completely
but
intellectually dishonest. All
okay, but
right?
listen,
Like
that's a
to
whole
say
different.
that they're defending their country um like maybe after 2023, yeah, I was on the side of Israel, defend your country, but once you've defended your country, you don't got to keep doing it. You don't got to be like proactive. They're now the aggressors, all right? It's the
Well,
same
this is similar
side
to what
that
happened in World War II, though.
it's the same side that defends bombing Iran, talking about defending their country. Israel is the aggressors right now.
Let me tell you something too. See, that's a whole different situation. I get what you're saying. Once a country's defended itself, the fighting should stop. But the problem is in this conflict, the attacks don't stop. Hamas continues to launch rockets into Israel towns and cities, so Israel can't just put down its defenses and hope the violence ends. I mean, it's not a one-time thing. It's ongoing. Israel's actions are about preventing future attacks and protecting its people until the threat actually ends. Israel has to keep defending itself to ensure its citizens' safety. Peace can only come when both sides stop attacking each other. I mean, if someone keeps attacking your home over and over, you wouldn't just stop defending yourself, would you? I mean, Israel isn't bombing for revenge. It's targeting places where Hamas operates. It's not like the U.S. bombing all of Japan after surrender. My fault. Israel is responding to ongoing threat, not punishing an already defeated enemy. There's a big difference between that. I mean,
And what I'm saying is, it started out as self-defense, right? You can make that argument in 2023 that it started out as self-defense, but like I know I'm talking about like a modern conflicts, by the way, so I don't want you to think that I think it only started in 2023, just to clarify. But you know, if we're talking about that specific catalyst, you can make the argument that they were trying to defend themselves. However, when it gets to this point where they are now um, when they are now bombing schools and hospitals, and you're not finding any evidence to support that there were, and I know there were some schools that did have Hamas agents working in them, but then you're bombing other ones um, with no evidence, right? I think that best case scenario, Israel is making mere speculation from where they are hiding, and they're bombing these places, killing hundreds of people and hundreds of children with
Right.
the idea of, oh, maybe we can kill 10 Hamas agents here. You see what I
But
mean? So best case scenario, you can argue that they're trading hundreds of
Yeah, I'm
children's
ending it here.
lives